Hello, my dear students. Good evening to all of you. Today, we shall read the second chapter of the textbook, Lost Spring, the story of stolen childhood. As the title expresses that this topic is a story of stolen childhood. Stolen childhood means the childhood the childhood part of the life of the children which have been stolen means they have not been given the opportunity of education and other things which by dint of which they can rise themselves up. Here, lost spring means the spring season of their life has been lost. So what is the spring season of the life? That is childhood. This spring season means the childhood has been lost. This is the meaning of the title, and I think it indicates toward the story that the children has been exploited in this story. Now, in order to make you understand easily, I have divided this story into two parts. Number one, story of Sahib Alam, and number two, the story of Mukesh. Sahib Alam, the meaning of this word is the Lord of the universe, पूरे जगत का पति, जगतपति. But what is the condition of this boy? This boy is living in the dirty and slum area of Simapuri. Simapuri is an area nearby Delhi. An area means the outskirt area, the periphery of Delhi. And in that area, the children are living in the dirty and dark streets. They are living in the hovels, in the huts. And what is their work? Every morning they go to the street, and the street is full of the heaps and piles of garbages. And they are scrounging, they are searching the coins, the plastic cups, glass, and other things, and they put it into their bag. The bag is lying on their shoulders, and at noon they again return their houses, their homes, their huts, and in this way they are leading their life, they are passing their life. One day, Anish Jung, the writer of this lesson, met a boy, and when she asked his name, he said his name was Sahib Alam. In short, Sahib. Then she asked if there was not any school in his area, in their area. So he said that there was not. And she asked him if she would run a school, he would go to the school for schooling, for education. He said that surely he would go there. But after a month, when she met him again, he asked about the school. She was struck dumb. She was speechless, could not give any answer, because she had promised only carelessly. Then she was very much regretted. She felt regretted. And again, she asked him why they were not putting on the chappals and shoes on their feet. Then he said that it was their tradition that they could not put on the chappals and shoes. It was their tradition. ये उनकी परंपरा थी, चप्पल जूते नहीं पहनते थे. But she was not satisfied with this excuse, with this expression. And one day again, Sahib was standing at the gate of a club, and inside the club, two people were playing the tennis. Sahib had also put on the shoes, but one of them had a hole in it. He saw that these people were playing the tennis. He also wanted to play the tennis, but this game tennis was out of reach of his, or out of his reach. He could not do it. After some time, uh, he was he was doing the job at a tea stall. One day, Anish Jung, the writer, met him and she asked what he was doing. Then he said that he was doing the job at the tea stall. Then she asked if he was satisfied with his job, but there was not satisfaction in his look, in his eyes. She could understand that now he was not his own master. He was the servant at the owner of the tea stall. That is why this canister which he was carrying every day, and he was giving the milk at the tea stall, and he was getting 800 rupees per month, and the meal means food every day, but he was not satisfied there. Why? Because he was not the master of his work, but he was the servant at a tea stall. It means the writer wants to give a message to us that freedom is the most precious thing in our life. If we are not free, it means we are slave, we are gulam, really. And now I want to come to the second part of the story. This story is about Mukesh, and Mukesh is the simple, generic man, generic boy of the bangle makers, because he was belonging to the bangle maker, and most of the people in Firozabad, they were doing the work of bangle making, and it was their traditional work, traditional job. Every other home was engaged in making the bangle. Especially 20,000 children were doing this work, and the child labor is against the law. But who is there to see over this matter? Nobody is there. The laws, the policies are made in our country, but they are never respected, and they are never complied with. You can see in this story, in this part, that Mukesh was belonging to a bangle maker family, bangle making family, but he was dreaming of becoming a motor mechanic. He was thinking differently from his tradition or traditional work. Now, there were so many hurdles, hindrances, and barriers in his life. Who were the people of barriers? These were the money lenders, the sahukars, uh, the police, and other people, the middlemen. They were doing the work for the factory owner, because factory owner was giving them some of the money. So these children who were doing the work in the bangle factory, who were doing the work near the glass blower, glass furnaces, and which were having very high temperature. They could not make even a society. Society means here helping society, helping cooperative for them, because if any of them was daring to do it, so certainly he would be dragged by the policemen, and he would put into the jail, into the prison, and he would uh, being tortured by the people, by the middlemen, by the policemen. But we can say that Mukesh was really having a very strong willpower, and he was well determined to be a motor mechanic. When Anishan asked him, he said that he would become the motor mechanic, and he would go to learn driving of motor to the garage, and this garage was not very far from his house. The writer was really very happy to see the determination of Mukesh. One day she commented, Mukesh, if you wanted to become the pilot, if you wanted to fly the aeroplane also. At this, Mukesh looked down to the ground, and after a while, again he held his head up and he said that he did not want to fly the aeroplane. She asked the reason. Then he said that aeroplane was out of his approach because it was flying in the sky. But he was uh, he was wanting, he was wishing to drive the car because the car was running on the road in the street where he was living. Now we can see the similar havoc, the similar difficulties among the rag pickers and the bangle makers. You can see in very childhood, these rag pickers were going out of the house, out of their houses, and they were picking the rags, the garbages, and they were trying to find out some coins. Then they wishing hope, they were hoping for the gold, for the silver. This garbage was really the hope for them, the life for them, the wonder for them. But this garbage picking was only a survival for their mothers, father, and parents. The whole life they led only in picking the rags. On the other hand, the children of bangle making families, from very childhood, from very beginning, they were doing the work with their mother, with their father, in their huts, uh, which had the crumbling walls. There were no windows, there were no lights and bulbs, and they were doing the work all the time. They were polishing the bangles, they were welding the bangles, and they were losing their eyesight. The ladies, the ladies were saying that they were losing their husbands, their eyesight, their children were losing their eyesight, but they were thinking that it was their karam, their fate, their fortune. And we can see the lesson, also a message from the life of Mukesh, that he was thinking differently from that of his family, because he was a brave boy, he was a bold one. So in order to make your fortune, really you are the first responsible person. You are the maker of your own fortune. This lesson is being given by the writer Anish Jung. What is the main theme of this lesson? The main theme of this lesson is that we ourselves are the maker of our own fortune, our own fate. And that is why we should be brave, we should be bold, and we should always try to think differently. That is all. And I will tell you the answer of the questions in the next video, in the next session. Thank you very much.